Today we have Nikita. We both have been in touch from a very long time, and I'm in all of her doodles. That's like so quick and easy to do. I think that's what also sort of motivates everyone also. When it's quick and it's easy to do, it motivates everyone as well. So it's such a really cool concept that she had come up with. I'm glad that you are there in this 21 days meditative art ritual and you're teaching us a complex geometric construction today. I'll hand it over to you and then we can get started.
Yeah, thank you so much for these lovely words, Veena. Thank you so much. So, I am Nikita Mistry. I am from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. And I've been on Insta art page since some 4 5 years. Probably started during COVID only. Art, obviously, there was this art connect since I was a child. But then somehow during that period, I came in contact with mandala as a concept, and since then, and this platform, with this platform I got introduced to so many lovely artists, so many talented artists who've been doing such great work, and gradually inspired by them I learned certain things and started doing on my own. So, see, this is the work, one of the works which the theme of this work is something which we are going to do today. We are not going to do a specific, something which is totally identical to this, but the concept of, the circles, the eccentric circles, having this circle within circle with a common tangent, just a little bit of geometry. Don't worry, we are not going to go over it a lot. But yeah, the conceptually a circle within circle is something which we are going to do today. So we'll try and see to it that, with some different patterns, how we can recreate it, how we can change some of these patterns inside and see how we can create something else out of this. I've taken an A5 size paper. I hope this is, this is clear to all of you. And this is a Bristol smooth paper. Okay, it's 250 GSM. However, as you all know, that it depends on the medium which you are working on. The paper may be absolutely needs to be it depends on the paper medium with which you decide to work on. Like currently we are doing work with only fine liners, so even 150 GSM or something like that works, right? So don't worry about that. Here I've just taken the center of the paper, okay, and I've drawn a 10 centimeter line. I'm taking a compass and I'm drawing a circle with 5 centimeter radius around the line which we've drawn. A smaller circle within it with a kind of 2 mm gap. This is something only, can you see? I'll just bring it a little close. Can you see this? Okay, it's just a 2 mm small gap. Now what we are going to do is, we'll take this particular part of the circle, okay? First, from the outer edge of the circle, we are going to mark a 1.5 centimeter, then a point at 2.5, then a 3.5. This is the length. These markings are so that we'll be creating the circle spaces using these particular points, right? So this is a 5 centimeter radius. Can you see this? Okay. Now what I've done is from this particular outer edge, it is 1.5. First point I've done at 1.5. Next at 2.5. And the third one at 3.5 centimeter. And one more important thing, even though you may not necessarily follow these particular measurements, you can absolutely do it at your own, because this is not something which needs a specific measurement. So it's just depends on the kind of, circle length which you, I mean, circle area which you want. Basis that you can select your own. However, for currently for going with this, we may do it, but later on when you try it on your own also, then will all, some other measurements will also work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my sharp end at 1.5 centimeter wala point. And what I'm going to do is my pencil is touching the outer edge. Okay. And I'm drawing a circle like this.
What's the radius of your compass? Is it 1.5 or what? Because
Yes,
your picture is a
it's
little hazy.
yeah. It's 1.5. The points which we have just done, right, Purvi?
Where did you put the compass for this? Could you just point it
Yeah,
again?
yeah. See, like this.
Okay. So the first 1.5 from the edge of the circle.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
correct. Now moving to the next circle, you can just look at this right now. Then you can draw it on your own. See, again, the idea is this. This is the actual concept how we are going to do. All our centers will be on this particular line for us to enable the to draw circle within circle. And all our edges, one edge, they will all be intersecting at this particular point. Let's name it as A. Yes. So now we'll be doing the 2.5 wala part, the 2.5 circle. You can do is
Okay.
that your circle measurement can go 1 or 2 less. Just make
Okay.
sure it touches 1 point only.
Okay. Okay.
Instruments which we use, that
Hmm.
somewhere some error might be there, because of which our measurements sometimes fail to create what we actually want to. We just see to it that your it touches this particular point.
Yeah, it is touching A, but the outermost circle also has two circles, right? I mean, so is it
Yes.
the inner circle
Yeah.
or the
Inner
yeah,
circle.
correct.
It's the
Inner circle.
inner one.
Okay.
You might have seen the regular mandalas wherein we create a circle and then we dissect it into using the protractor into various segments, 8, 12, depending on what kind of patterns you want to create, depending on the size of the circle. Here, what we are going to do is that we are going to create, we are not going to use the protractor for all the circles which we have created. Okay? Most of our patterns will be freehand. So I'll take a moment and I'll draw it with a fine liner so that it will become easier for all of you. And I'm also doing a double layer, I mean circle within circle for these, like the way how I've done it for the outermost. Just one more tip to all of you. See, while we are doing this, you can see how you can see this particular edge where it has my because of my rounder error it has moved out, right? So in such items, when you're working on a important thing or something which is how you want to use this, so what you can do is to avoid this. Whenever you are using a fine liner, you can just either stop it over this particular point where you feel that it is going outside, just stop there, so that such kind of errors will never become visible in your work.
The double circle that you're doing is going to be inside the main one or on the outside
inside
of
the
the
main, inside the main
inside?
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, say inside. 1.5 mm or 1 mm, depending on what you like, right? There's no rule for that. Most of these, there are no rules. You can do it as per your feel as well. So this is how it looks somewhat. Okay. Okay. Now just one more thing. Now just one more thing. Somewhere between my 3.5 and 5 centimeter center point, I am just randomly selecting a point through which I'm drawing this pencil wala circle. This is just for my pattern guidelines. Okay. This can be of any particular radius. Okay. It can be, equidistant from both, as well as, it can be closer to one of them. Depending on that, we'll be using this particular circle as a guideline to our patterns, the patterns which we draw in this particular section. And we are not drawing that with a fine liner, since it is something which we want for only for our guidelines. Basically, the reason why I asked you all to take a random one is that depending on the space which is, which is getting divided over here, you will get the freedom of creating, different patterns. So as in when we go to the outer circle pattern, you'll realize how just this particular decision can change the look of the artwork altogether. So today, since we are doing only with, we are working only with fine liners today, right? We'll be using only the black and white colors. However, depending on the work, you may decide to use different colors also, or certain section of the work can be a different colors depending on what you like, right? If you like something wherein there is a combination of both, you can you can use some other mediums as well. You can or else once the work is done in fine liners, you can do a coloring also with pencil colors, watercolors, brush pens. There are several mediums available, but please explore. So today we are just doing this, right? And we'll be doing simple patterns. Okay. So here, as you see, we are not using protractor. This is a very small circle. So we've just, two intersecting lines we've drawn and divided it into four. And now I'm dividing it into 8 parts. I'm just taking, I will be doing this one particular pattern I'm showing you with a pencil, and then I'll do it with the fine liner. So this particular quarter I'm taking, And I'm working in this cross section. Creating a very simple pattern. Is this clear? And I'll be repeating this. So if you just want to check out the hand movements, okay. So now I'm going to use a 0.2 fine liner. We'll be filling up the negative spaces. However, just one small suggestion, whenever you are doing it in a smaller space, whenever you are creating mandalas in a smaller space, okay, so if you are doing very delicate patterns, use a uh, s- smaller thinner fine liner. However, if the patterns are a little bit bold, if you use a thicker fine liner, that will always look out more. I mean, it will look better, it will look bold, and the patterns will come out beautifully. Say for example, I'll draw it over here only. I'll show you with a 0.5. Okay, I'm drawing the same pattern with a 0.5. You can just have a see how difference does it make. Can you see the difference? So this one is with a 0.5 and this one is a 0.2, right? So depending on your liking, depending on what you're doing, this is just something which gradually you'll realize as in when you create more of work, right? And this particular part, what we'll be doing is we'll be filling up all the negative spaces. Over here. Right? However, for the inner detailings, always use a thinner pen. So I've recolored it with my because I felt like the 0.51 was looking better. So I just completed it with point 0.5. Right? So now moving ahead to the outer circle, the next circle. Okay. So here, as we see, the gap is this. So again, we are not, we haven't used protractor. So most of our designs will be freehand. So now for this particular section, I am simply going to draw cylindrical patterns, right? Some scallops or what you can see. And as I go over here, I'm going to reduce my size and also I mean, thin them up. Just a second. Something like this. And while we do the other side, we'll just see to it that it looks almost like our right side. When we do the similar patterns on the left, we can we need to just ensure a little bit. And how, I'll tell you, you can just do a referencing using a small scale itself, that my first point falls over here, the second falls over here. So more or less it will fall in the similar pattern, because we are doing it with free hand. So initially we might be scared, initially we might be afraid whether the symmetry is looking similar or not, because here we are not using the protractor. But I would just say that do not worry about symmetry a lot. Take small reference points so that more or less it will fall in place.
And
Moving
also, I
ahead.
think if you work it out with pencil first, then
Yes, that
you
also helps a
you
lot.
you can
Absolutely.
minutely change it.
And don't shy away from that. Don't shy away from that, because thinking that I still have to use pencil as reference works or reference designs. Do not worry, because it's absolutely okay. Absolutely, there is no harm in doing that. It may take a little bit more time, but you'll be definitely happier with the results which you come out with.
Agree, because I'm using a pencil right now. So
Yeah, I still do that, Veena. I also feel like it's absolutely okay. It may take time.
especially when we're doing a simple mandala even, or even when I'm taking my classes, I'm like, okay, what's the next pattern? Let me just work out something with pencil. And then
Correct.
you try different pattern combinations.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So I'm just doubling up the lines and I'll show you the pattern. Now over here also, if you feel within these, if you have any specific pattern in mind, please go at that. Otherwise, I'll show you I'll show you two different patterns which you can do the same, do or follow whatever, whichever you like. So I'm doing two circles in the bottom since it is narrow over there. I'll do a third one. And on the top, the reason why I have chosen this particular pattern is that, see, while we see that, the sizes will be reducing towards the intersecting point, we'll be able to see only the below the circles which we've used in the bottom of the pattern. So such kind of patterns, it will help create the entire look of it and make you less worried, because ultimately when you see that, you might feel it difficult so squeezing the patterns little by little.
That's a challenge in itself.
Yes. And this empty space again, I'll be doing a small circle because there is quite some space over there. The inner patterns I've done with a 0.1 mm fine liner, because that gives us more precision and gives us liberty to draw smaller ones also, even if, because if you are working on a smaller space, it will always help. Right, so this is what it looks like as of now. So moving on to the next layer of the circle, here we are going to do some doodles. And we'll do it in such a way that, the symmetry of both the sides look alike. So I'll be just again doing a reference marking and just using my pencil to mark some layers. to just, mark progress of my pattern so that I can use it as a symmetry guidelines from to both for both left and right side. This particular cross section I've just taken from the center. This line I've drawn just with the horizontal line I've drawn with the help of the center of this particular circle. And this is somewhere where this intersects. Okay. You can use any of the points or the same as I've used. Here, what I'm going to do is that simple. Okay. And as I go over here, and then with the help of this line, a big circle over here to fill the gap. All right. So this is a section, and let me give us further more guideline. Right. So this will have one of the patterns. This may be a common one, but it's a very good one. So I will always like to use it. So this is something which, we'll complete for the left side also. So it will give a good feel of what the work looks like. So this is where these guidelines will help us. Because the pencil work has been completed, so that I can give you all an idea how this entire piece will actually look like. And the best thing is that once the pencil work is done, when you complete this work with fine liner, it gives you all the more fun. So we are just putting these few fillers inside of these patterns because we don't want it to look too empty. The reason behind that is that, see, inside of the circles, we've used some intricate patterns. So outside, if in the doodles, we keep them empty, it will not complement each other. So that is why we are just adding some more details inside these, so that they overall go hand in hand. So here in this particular outermost circle, we are doing as we have, separated separated this particular larger circle into pieces. So here the innermost, we are going to do some leaf-like patterns, right? And we are going to follow the similar one. Since we are going to do absolute freehand, we are simply going to keep adding them till we reach the lower part. I will be decreasing the sizes. This the circles which we've drawn will help us for the reference. If you have any other patterns in mind, you can go ahead with that as well. See, as and when we approach the smaller size, our patterns will grow even smaller.
I think this is a very good exercise to understand how to draw patterns in different
Yes.
areas.
At the end, it will just be small leaf patterns. See, I'm just doing, not even doing half of the pattern over here. This feels like there's something inside. It's like an embryo when we used to draw that those diagrams, little diagrams, how there used to be a sprout and how it
Stages of
matured.
embryo or something, right? Yeah,
Yes.
no, I get it. And also, it's like you sort of, it's very interesting in this way that you need to choose the design in such a way that even when it becomes smaller, a part of it
Yes.
is relevant.
Always visible. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll eventually thicken these two also so that my lines will be they'll be properly visible in a layer. Because I just want to do lines over here, and then I'll fill up these negative area spaces. I just do it and show it to you. I'm doing a thicker one. Since this is the only one handy right now, I'm filling it up. A second. Oops. So this is how it will look like. Even this line exercise itself is very important. Sometimes when we think about, going back to our basics, these are some hand exercise which help improve our patterns a lot eventually. So in this one, we are going to do a pattern which is similar to this, so that just some leaf patterns after, so that it looks like some, as we move outside the circle, we are approaching a bigger pattern. It's like it's a blooming out. However, as we move toward the edge, it will be reduced. The size will be reducing. So here I'm using a 0.2, and then as I move towards the inner left side, I'll be switching on to a 0.1. Guys, I'd just say that if you feel it difficult, leave it as it is. Just try to understand things and get back on, your incomplete work once that you are in that zone of trying it out again. And this is a slow process. Basically, it has never been so that within an hour, it is I have ever never been able to complete a mandala within an hour. It is never possible. So rest assured, if if that is what you are facing, because that's what everyone faces.
True. Unless it's a very simple, small, mini
Yeah,
mandala
correct.
photo, maybe in an
Absolutely.
hour. But if you're,
Absolutely.
uh, but yeah, you can't rush through art and
Correct.
meditation.
Correct. Absolutely correct. And enjoying the process is even more important, right? So this is how we'll be finishing it.
Was thinking that I think it's okay if you don't want to fill every layer with a pattern. You can alternate, like how Nikita shared that.
Yes.
You can basically also do
Color
like
it, or
band of watercolors
completely, yeah,
pattern.
completely blacken this, fill up sections of it, with totally fill up those sections, and not use the patterns for till the end of it.
And everyone, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank
And
you very much.
please share your works on the social media. Please do tag both the artists and use the hashtag 21 Days Meditative Art Ritual. This is something that has been missing in your posts. And so when I go to the hashtag, I can't see any of your works, right? So I think the whole idea is we connect over there and we sort of get to see each other's works, which I don't. I do see your lovely works in the WhatsApp group, but I don't see it there. Nikita, thank you so much. I'm glad that you came back to do this session, and I'm sure you are enjoying your time with your art and, of course, balancing your other priorities. And we hope to see you more on social media as well. But keeping that aside, I really hope that you continue doing what you're doing, taking classes, doing art, just being happy. That's what's important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you so much for the lovely words, Ina. Thank you, each and every one of you. I'm really glad that, I got this opportunity again because of Veena to have a lovely session like this. And so, yeah,